All right, everyone, welcome to the Jump Master X podcast, episode one. And we got Jordan Kilgannon, we got Tom Barnes here. Very big
Mm-hmm.
podcast today. We got many questions to cover. Basically, had a lot of questions throughout the week about what's happened, what's transpired, everything like
Oh,
that. Hey,
you said transpired.
yeah, big fancy
I
word, I
like that.
guess.
Yeah, that's nice.
All right, so we're gonna kick things off with Jordan, and I guess we're gonna get you to introduce yourself because I'm sure most people listening know who you are, but some people might listen and just know you as the blue-haired guy
Ninja.
or
Yeah,
ninja.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, my name is Jordan Kilgannon. I'm a professional basketball dunker, dedicated my entire life to dunking and learning how to jump higher. And that's mostly it, man.
No, 100%. I think that pretty much covers it.
Yeah.
So, first question I got on this list is what is Jumpmaster X? To me, like basically what we do is we essentially coach people online to jump higher and just completely transform their vertical. And us three, we're pretty much working together to get our athletes the best result possible. So that's pretty much just summarizing what is Jumpmaster X. So I guess putting it over to Jordan to add to that as well.
Yeah, so for me, this is something I've been wanting to do for a long time. But yeah, the goal is literally to just get people to jump as high as possible. We can make it custom for each person to make sure it's is adjusted for them, whether it's a schedule, whether they have injuries, whatever it is. We've been around the block for quite a long time. We got three experts here to work together, and yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
No,
Well, it's
yeah.
almost like, well, we could all do our own thing. We could all coach a community of athletes to jump higher by ourselves, but you combine three people, the service quality goes that little bit, or even like way higher, just because like one of us might know something that the other doesn't, or might have little inputs here and there. And we all oversee the one athlete's training. So yeah, you got three masterminds per athlete.
We train like heaps of different types of people. Like we train teenagers, we train people in their 20s, we train people in their 40s, 50s even, which is crazy because yeah, to be dunking in your 50s, that's insane to me and that's like a dream to me, you know. I don't know how long I'm going to be dunking for. I don't know about you guys, but as long as possible.
Did you
Yeah, I want to
know?
be dunking at 60, 100%.
Bro, it's literally double my age, or more than double my age, just to even get
Yeah,
to
that's wild.
50. Like, I have to live my whole life again and more just to get to KB donking. Like,
Dude, do you think it's
that's
possible to dunk at 70 for me? That would be so cool.
Well,
70?
Yeah, I wonder if that's doable.
how old is MJ right now?
I don't know.
I feel like he's late 60s. No, early 60s.
I might be on, but I think at 60 I would be able to like dunk off vert, and that's probably the way I would do it, just because it's so much less stress on the body to go
Yep.
off vert than it is like coming on in at an angle like that and all asymmetrical like a
hmm
regular approach jump. And so just keep my strength high, keep doing some jumps once in a while at that point in my life. And I think with all the previous work and like foundation work I've done with the rest of my life, I reckon I can do it, you know?
He's 61, FYI.
Yeah, that's insane. I think he is still
Mhm.
dunking.
But again, it's a bit harder for Jordan because what are you? You're like 6'1", 6'2", right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So next question is why did you want to start Jumpmaster X and why essentially do we want to start Jumpmaster X?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't know, I've kind of always want to do this. For me, it's just been a thing where I'm always trying to do too many things fully on my own, you know? I want to do the clothing stuff. I want to do the content creation. I wanted to do the dunk contest, the dunk shows, doing the jump program,
Protein powder.
uh, the protein powder, and trying to keep my relationships like as healthy as possible. Trying to like, make sure my life is good. And with all the traveling, it's a lot. And then it just made sense to partner up with somebody, which I was hesitant to do for a long time. But then thinking about you guys, it just kind of made the most sense, especially because I know some of the people that were doing your programming. And, without you guys knowing, I was just asking them a bunch of questions about how it was going. And they all just said like the most amazing things ever. Like they were super happy. Like how much you guys communicate with them and are super on it, like 247 was super
hmm
attractive to me. You guys are not gonna like randomly drop the ball or anything like that. You guys are super into training and jumping higher. At your age, you're strong as hell too. So you guys are doing a bunch of things as right as you possibly can. So it was kind of like an easy thing to just want to partner up with you guys specifically. And on top of that, I think I just want to spend more time doing this kind of stuff. I've gone around doing all these different kinds of businesses, and I think this will be a nice place to be because I truly love just learning like about how to jump higher and also just teaching it and helping others do the same thing. Like it's the coolest thing ever. It's like help somebody go from not dunking to get their first dunk to doing the first windmill, or now people are getting their head at the rim or getting them to go from amateur level to like pro dunker. Like it's such a cool feeling, man, because that was me, and in a sense, it feels like I'm just like helping like mini me, a bunch of mini me's like trying to achieve their dream. And the dream doesn't necessarily mean to be like a pro dunker. It could just be somebody who wants to get their first dunk at 45 years old. I think that's just badass. And with this, I can really be hands-on, be really part of people's journey. And throughout the process, I'm going to be learning a lot as well, because that's just what happens with a lot of experience coaching people. And I have people like you guys to bounce ideas off of, which we already do on our Zoom calls. We have our Zoom calls like talk business, and we just talk training, so already that's awesome.
I think dunking like is growing as a sport so quickly is because it doesn't really matter where you are in the world, because I mean most people have internet access who are dunking, and for the most part every hoop is 10 feet. Maybe there's a few that are lower, a little bit higher, whatever, but it's pretty standardized. Like a windmill's going to be a windmill on 10 foot, so it's easy enough to coach online. It's not like different country to country or anything like that.
No, 100%. No, it's pretty cool learning off you as well, Jordan, because there's so many like things we don't know as well. And it's like just in terms of like jump technique and even training and stuff like that as well. And just picking up just little things that I would just never think of, just even in terms of like hitting a dunk and stuff like that. Obviously, having Tom around, like it's helped me progress so much, but just some of the tips you give and the little bits of advice, like those little things, they really do add up over time. And they really do make the difference over the course of like 6 months to 12 months and 2 years, all those little tips, and you just end up so much better than you otherwise would have and progress so much faster, because rather than taking, well, for me personally, like taking the time to have it, 6 months of like making mistakes and then finally figuring it out, just knowing something straight away, and just progress just goes skyrockets pretty much from there. No, it's cool because I'm like, well, obviously I'm still trying to East Bay. And we were talking about trying to East Bay yesterday. I was sending you clips and stuff like that because I've gotten like very close, but I still haven't hit it.
Wait, I realize you're going with your left hand. Are you not trying with your right hand?
No, because I'm right-handed, but I find it way more awkward to dunk right-handed.
Interesting.
Weird.
Try some other hand between your legs and then send it to me. That's for a whole other conversation. But yeah, let's try that out too.
Also, the other thing is my left hand is 1 inch longer than my right, so I get extra reach.
Where your hand or
Yeah,
your
it's
reach?
Now I like reach.
same.
Are you all the same, Jordan?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you can tell right now, but normally if you look at me, my right shoulder is just lower. So this guy,
Yep. Wait, so your right or left is longer?
my left is longer.
Okay. I think Brody's the same as well. It's like half an inch to an inch difference.
Yeah, some people don't realize.
Yeah, because the body's like naturally asymmetrical. You're not meant to be like 100% even. Even in terms of your organ placement and stuff.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it weirded me out when I found out some people have different like placements for like even where your heart is. It's not always like same spot. Some people it's like a little bit more this side or that side. Just stuff like that. It's funny.
Next question is, you're actually going to be coaching athletes. You're actually going to be training athletes, right? And you've actually already been doing that as well. You've been coaching people like Adam, Ben, Jeffrey, yeah, and a few other people. I'm not sure if
I
I'm allowed
swear,
to say, but
I think you had a lot to do with Dylan Hagen, like early days, right?
Early on, yeah.
Yeah.
Until you guys scooped them up.
Bro, he made this joke and he was like, "Oh, I think the only reason Jordan is like combining with you guys is so he can train me again."
That's crazy. That's funny.
yeah, yeah, he did say that. He's the chosen
Yeah.
one. He's like Anakin Skywalker right now.
Yeah. I've been training those guys, especially because I talked to all three of them, and all three of them are pretty hungry for wanting to be pro dunkers, and they all have the discipline to do it and have the potential to be pro dunkers. And I feel like I could see that so clearly for them. So I just want to, give them some of my own custom programming with the stuff that I've kind of learned like more recently, and kind of see what happens. And I mean, it's been working great so far. My group chat with them was actually called Monstars, because I think all three of those guys can become freaking monsters, and they can all be pro dunkers like super easily. They just need to be taught, right? Like with Ben, for example, sending me videos, and I'd be doing FaceTime calls with him, and he's just doing, let's say, a tomahawk on like 9 feet, and like, hey, next jump, don't rotate so much. Okay, next jump, point your hips this way. Next jump, this or that. Just kept doing that, and already improving really quickly. And
Absolutely.
That's fun to do,
Absolutely.
but it's to
Yeah,
get back into the custom
there.
programming for people right before I kind of like hop in with you guys, you know?
They can definitely go that next level for sure. Those three or four,
Big
yeah.
time. Yeah, I remember the
So
funniest thing for me was when I was at dunk camp in Utah and Artem was just going off. Like Artem just hit like a J Rich East Bay. He was just jumping way higher on everything. And I was just like, whoever is training this guy, like he is flying. I literally kept saying that the entire time. I kept being mindful that Artem was flying. And literally like a couple months later, I find out he's been doing my training for like a year. I was like, dude, this is the coolest thing
That's
ever.
funny. Was he like too shy to come up to you and be like, "Hey man, I've been on your coaching, da da da."
I guess so. Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
so. He just randomly tagged me in a story like a month after dunk camp. So you're doing Jump Master. And I was like, oh, that's cool. You're on it. He's like, yeah, I've been doing it for like a year. I'm like,
that's
excuse
so
me.
funny,
Like,
bro. I remember at Dunk Camp 2023. It was like literally 10 minutes after we'd walked in, and you just like came up to me and was just like talking to me. I think you asked my ball or something to like do some weird stretch. I don't know, but I was like starstruck, bro.
really, that's funny.
I wasn't expect, bro. Just came up to me and was just like, "Hey, what's good?"
Dude, we've had conversations. We've had like deep conversations in the past, you know?
Yeah, on Instagram
Like,
and yeah,
yeah, we chatted plenty and like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, Tom, what's
yeah,
up?
fair
That's
enough. Yeah,
that's such a weird thing
Oh
to
my
me to
God.
like to even imagine somebody else being starstruck by me. Like I know what happens, but it's such an odd thought. Like it's just so weird.
do you mean when
Like
it's you?
yeah, because it's me. It's just like I don't
Yeah,
know. Like I'm just like a freaking weirdo who just didn't stop dunking. Like I got made fun of because it's freaking weird that I was trying so hard for this one random activity, and I'm still the same dude. Like what's changed? That's so weird.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
back in the day, like the community was nowhere near as big as it is now, right? Like just in terms of just
Yeah.
everything. So it would have been like just way more of like a, I guess like quote unquote weird thing to like outside people,
Yeah.
back then.
Yeah, 100%. It was just like my little YouTube community, like not many people. And we all just like low rim dunked all the time, like 8 feet, 9 feet, whatever, just all the time. That was fun.
Who was that guy you sent me the other day? Like I hadn't seen his videos in like 4 years, 5 years. It's a 1 foot, like 5'9" guy.
Oh, Thane Van Dyke. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if he could still dunk. He probably still can. He was
Well,
a
is he
genetic monster, that
is he
guy.
not from Sudbury?
No, no, no. He's from Owen Sound, which is like 3 hours away or something like that, 3.5 hours
Okay.
away. I'll actually hit him up again. I haven't talked to him like in a long time. I wonder what he's doing. Probably still making beats.
Imagine if he's had like this massive training arc. He's like back rimming double between the legs and shit. He just hasn't been posting it until he hits it.
Cool.
All right, next question. So what is happening with JumpX and JumpMaster?
Yeah, I'll answer for Jumpmaster. I mean, Jumpmaster still exists, so it'll be jumpmaster.com. And the training is wildly inexpensive. It's $15 a month, or if you pay for the year, $100 a year, $8.33. But like you get the training and you're on your own. That's it. You don't really get to send me videos and for me like to help you along the way. It's not custom, it's not nothing like that. Fantastic program at that if you literally have like no options, but that'll still exist. That'll still be there. It's definitely weight levels like underneath where I think Jump Master X will be. But yeah.
Yeah, because the actual program itself is really good. But yeah, it's if you want that extra help, like you got questions about technique or whatever, that's where it probably wouldn't be your thing, right?
That's exactly it. Or like again, if you need to adjust the programming to your schedule or you
Right.
have an injury, you don't know how to deal with that. Like again, you're on your own, right? And that's kind of a big deal depending like where you're at, unless you're perfectly healthy, don't need any help with technique ever, that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't know if anybody like that really exists, but yeah.
There's actually quite a big thing because dunkers are like McLaren supercars. Always, there's always some warning light on.
Ferrari.
Yeah, there's always a warning light on. That's why they're nicknamed McLarens. So,
I've never heard that, bro. Oh
hey,
man, I've never heard that.
yeah, no, it's a
Yeah,
thing.
I'm
It's
not
a
in the
thing.
car community either, so yeah.
Does Jordan have anything like that? Like you're really into, like that's outside dunking.
Anime,
Music?
music as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch loads of anime. Definitely super into that. And then yeah, I like to make music. And then I go on like binges of like things I'm interested in. Like I like went deep into like religions, like Buddhism, Hinduism, all sorts of stuff. Christianity, whatever. Philosophy. I just get like random times in my life, like phases where I go hard.
You're an enlightened man. You know a lot. People don't really know that though. Like you have all these side things that you've invested into and researched about. Just the most random stuff, but you don't really like post about it, but you know about it.
Yeah, yeah, I don't post anything. I should probably do a better job of that. I think I mean here's the beginning of that already, right? So
for
No,
sure.
100%. I feel like a lot of people just see you as like a mythical like god, like I don't know, Zeus or something like that, and it's just like,
Or they
but
just think you're like a Fortnite streamer. It's one of the
yeah.
two. I do remember there was that one, like, I don't know where you talked about this, but you had that like your first session with pro dunkers. Because like up until then you were kind of just like doing your own thing. And I remember maybe you like wrote this in your description of your video, but apparently you like because of the adrenaline jump like 4 inches higher. Like you just went off compared to where you were at
Yeah.
before, where you thought you were.
Yeah, yeah, no, that was wild. So Nils, so Hoop Mixtape flew me out to LA, and I got to dunk with like my freaking idols at the time. And first
Mm.
session, I remember Nils, he was like, "Yo, are you gonna hit a 720?" I was just like, "Okay, sure." You know. And then I absolutely murdered 720 on my first try, and I was like,
Mm.
"What's happening, man?" I would just that rim was like actually 10 feet, like legit 10 feet as well. And yeah, which was ridiculous for me. I don't know why everything was just clicking that day. But luckily for me, I don't know why. When pressure is higher for me, I usually lock in pretty well. You know, like I don't really get like all nervous and like start choking and start what you know, that doesn't mean I don't like miss and mess up. Like my mentality isn't like, oh my God, what's going on? And like I freak out. Like I lock in and I think I'm like I'm a freaking god basically. Which is cool. So then I went to dunk against some other guys. I remember it was like Hanif, Munir, I don't know, there's a few other guys that were there.
Worm? Was Worm one of them?
No, he wasn't there. Chris Staples is there. Porter Mayberry was there. It's SPs is what it was. And there's a video that came out of it, but I wasn't in the video just because we were trying to keep me a secret kind of thing. But so I went and dunked against them. And yeah, I was just like going off right away. Like I did my first windmill elbow. I forget what other dunks I did, but like my head was like at the rim. Mind you, the rim I'm sure was probably like lower, probably 9, 10 or something like that. But I was just
Mm.
jumping way higher than normal. And I remember at first I was told like I can't dunk because we had to keep me a secret and some other people filming. So I was just filming for Nils and then just I felt like I was shaking because I was like filming these guys dunk and just knowing that like I couldn't dunk. I was like, and then
That's fine.
all of a sudden he's like, "Okay, F it, go in." And I was like, "Yes." And I started like literally didn't need to warm up or anything because I was so like full of adrenaline. I just started going off for me at the time, anyways. And that day especially was like where I realized like, dang, I can really probably do this for a living because I was outperforming all these guys who were like again my idols. And also around that
Yeah.
time is when I realized a lot of them, the way that they talked about dunking, I started to realize they just don't care about it that much, you know? And that's when I was like, I
Yeah.
care about it so much. So with the amount of work that I knew I was going to do relative to them, and we were already at the same level or I was doing better, I was like, hey, I can do this, you know? Yeah.
You know that feeling like you were describing when you're just like you're literally like shaking, you're itching to go. Do you enjoy that feeling? Like that adrenaline feeling before you're about to like have an insane session?
Oh, 100%. I usually don't get it until like I'm like really close to the court, let's say, right? It's just
No.
like how it hits me, oh, are you excited for your trip? And like a month from now, I'm like, dude, no. Literally, even the day before, I'm like, eh. But like maybe as I'm actually like on the way to the airport, I started going, oh snap, this is real. I started realizing it's real. So, but yes, that 100% happens. But sometimes I have to try to like not let that take over me if it's like for a show or a dunk contest because that will just waste a lot of energy. The adrenaline dump will get me like pre-exhausted and I
Right.
need to keep that. Right. I need to keep that for events, right? So yeah.
I remember when we used to dunk at this place called Arctom, like every time, like before every session, I would get that feeling. And I would just get so antsy and like I'd hate warming up because I'm like, I just want to dunk. And then you're almost like
Yeah.
shaking.
I
I
used to
feel
get
like
that
when I was
before like
young,
every session, yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I believe it. When I was younger, especially, I would, let's say, be walking to the gym while watching like these old dunk videos of people, right? Whether it's like T-Dub, Eric there, or whatever, whoever the dunkers were at the time. And as I'm walking to the gym, I would be like, again, almost like shaking. My body just felt like it was like surging with so much energy that literally my second or third jump would be my highest jump of the session because my body was like felt like it got pre like wildly warmed up, like just thinking about it. You know, I didn't have any like injury stuff to deal with, right? And plus you're young, so I could just literally walk onto the court. First jump, jump pretty freaking high. Second jump, probably second highest jump of the session. Third jump, it was like probably my highest jump of the session.
Although at that point you probably weren't jumping 50.
No, no, definitely not.
That actually leads into another question. What do you think it's going to take for you to test a 50?
Honestly, I think just doing more of the same, what I'm doing now, just because I think I would have tested 50 already. It's always kind of like little random freaking injuries that kind of get in the way just at the wrong times, just to say at the wrong times. Yeah, so I think so. A doctor, and last time before the last dunk camp, my back got destroyed like right before, and it
Yeah.
almost like forced me to do a deload. And so I almost tested 50 like by myself in a gym. No hype, no nothing. I was like so close. Can you imagine if I would have done that at dunk camp instead? If I would have had my deload time for dunk camp
Mm.
instead. By the time I got to dunk camp, I was already like, yeah, I was just not there anymore. So that was unfortunate, but it is what it is.
What did you test in the gym? Was it 49 or 49.5?
I don't know so Utah I tested 49 again, just off to the side by myself, not taking full penultimate at all, just like baby penultimate.
Yeah.
And then again at the show, we don't know what I got because we don't know what that bird trainer was at. It was off. So
It was more
never
just for
know.
show, right?
Yeah, yeah. But wish I knew what I actually got or it was like measured and stuff. But yeah, then Wisconsin, I got like, I don't know, like 48, 48 and a half. And the second I did it, I was like, I already knew I wasn't gonna get higher. So I was like, yeah, scrap it. I'm done. So
Yeah, so you're like hovering around it, not peaked, not in prime condition, right?
yeah, I had those times anyways. I was pretty primed for Utah dunk camp, but again, my doctor wouldn't let me do an actual full approach.
Yeah, that's
Right.
annoying. And you're so
Um,
reliant on that as well.
like big time for me. Like I'm like
Yeah.
king of wild amount of speed for 2 foot. That's what I do. I'm gonna try to get my squat to like 405. Try to keep my body weight the same. Um,
Honestly, that might do it in itself. If you stay
That's
the exact
insane.
same body weight and squat 405. Because what did you say it was right
as
now?
long as I
375? 365?
75, yeah.
Yeah.
And as long as I stay as elastic, I'm able to get off the ground as quickly as possible with stuff like death jumps or whatever other kind of plyos that I'm doing. Honestly, and then the rest I kind of keep it the same. I think it'll be golden. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
100%. Like we were even talking yesterday, like how many times you jump in a week. And I know Tom was like quite surprised by that because you're jumping like twice a week right now, right? Or
Yeah, I mean, right now it's been all over the place because all the traveling and stuff like that, or like an injury pops up. So instead of a jump day, I might do a plyo day, or just hit it with another leg day to give certain joints a break. But yeah, normally it's like once every 4 days, right? So twice every 8 days is what it normally is.
yeah, because
Yeah,
you like to work in like 8-day cycles rather than 7-day,
yeah.
which I'm sure a lot of people listening will quite like find that quite interesting as to why.
Yeah, I mean, pretty simple. I've got into this routine quite a while ago now, and it just makes the most amount of sense to me. It just gives everything the proper amount of time to recover, allows you to go as hard as you want on each thing. But yeah, if you have 4 days, first day is jump day, second day is leg day, third day is upper body, core, ball handling, whatever. Rest day, I usually do some like recovery or like rehab type stuff, whatever I need to do, and then I repeat. Crazy. And if I feel like I need to add in like an extra rest day because I went like too crazy, whatever, or something like that, no big deal. I can do that. If I really need to take away a full jump session really badly, then okay, I might do jump day, leg day, upper rest, leg day again, upper rest, and then hit a jump day again.
Yeah, because when you were younger, you used to go like hard, like way more, right? And now you're kind of like really managing fatigue better and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, when you're young, it's a bit different. One, you have the joints of a freaking god. You also don't jump as high, right? So you're not putting as much force through the knees and stuff like that. But I was jumping 3, 4 hours a day, every single day for a long time. And sometimes it'd be 9 hours in a day, I would go to the court, bring some food, and just be like, I'm all day. I'm dunking today till the sun goes down. you know?
That's insane.
When I say dunking, by the way, to people listening, this doesn't mean 10 feet. All that dunking was like 99% on like freaking 8 feet to 9 feet, just having fun, just doing tricks, which is why I have like as good as hands as I do now in technique, despite having like freaking smallest hands of any dunker that I know. It's just years and years of reps, right? It's also why my jumping technique often gets said as like the most perfect looking jump technique is just because of how many reps I've done. Mind you, I also played many sports, so my body was in a position where it could adapt to anything really well and find the most efficient way to do something, which is why if you have me hit a baseball. I have a pretty efficient and explosive way to swing. Same thing with volleyball swing. But then throw on top of that, all those reps, probably a good reason why I'm able to use a lot of speed too. I probably developed some like wild tendons and soft tissue to be able to bounce off of from all those reps at a young age.
9 hours in a day is crazy.
Yeah, that's something like I missed out on, like, because I just didn't even know like anything about jumping. So like when I was like younger, I didn't even start like getting actual like proper max jump reps until I was like 22. So I
Wait,
missed
how
out on
old?
that. 22. I didn't actually start getting proper max jumps until I was 22.
That's so sad. Sorry,
Yeah, I know
sorry for
this.
that, bro.
Sorry, bro.
That's why my mission now is tell people jump so you don't end up
Just
like me.
just jump,
But
bro.
yeah,
That's
yeah, do
funny.
it.
Damn,
Yeah.
that's wild.
To make it even harder on yourself, you didn't even do 2 foot to begin with. You started with 1 foot max jumps, and then you had to learn how to jump off 2 feet. So that delayed it even like another year, year and a half.
Oh yeah, I'd never done a 2 foot max effort jump until I was 22 in my life.
Wait, how old are you now? Yeah,
27.
27. Damn, that's crazy.
I didn't start super young. I was like 17. But yeah.
So would that be your number one piece of advice, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, jumping is the number one exercise in the world by a lot. I got pretty far by just jumping. I think anybody can. It's pretty
It's a
simple.
bit, yeah.
Hey, be good at shooting a basketball. You should do this drill where you're not actually shooting a basketball. Like what? No, like obviously we all understand if you want to get good at shooting a basketball, you need to shoot a basketball. It's not rocket science. You got to do
Hmm.
the thing and get good at the thing. So yeah, especially when you're young, take advantage of it. And what I will say too is what's also important, just like jumping often, is consistency. So it's not just about saying the word consistency. What I will say is to find yourself a low rim and just have a ton of fun and just go dunk. Try to do trick dunks. If you've never done a two-hander before, go for your first two-hander, off the backboard two-hander. There's always like a next level like achievement, like in a video game where you can like unlock this move, right? And every time you get it, it's like such a hit of dopamine. It's fantastic. And by doing that, you get hooked. You get addicted to dunking, which keeps you consistent for life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that's such like a big point. It's just always having like that goal to work towards because really it's just about the journey and enjoying and loving the journey. And if you don't have those little goals, milestones, dunks to work towards, then it's going to be hard to be motivated and enjoy it, and then it's going to be harder to stick to and progress.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing that can happen where when I was young, people would be like, "You're so disciplined." I was like, "No, no, I'm not. I'm just addicted."
Yeah.
Just addicted, my guy. But the
Yeah.
interesting thing that happens is like at first you don't have too much discipline because you're just having fun. You're having so much fun. You're so addicted. But then eventually you want to get better at this thing that you're addicted at because you're so addicted to it. So you eventually start to like want to learn how to like learn this other stuff or get in the weight room or do these other things that take more discipline that aren't as fun, right? You get a bit of motivation to do these things that aren't as fun to build up your addiction some more. So it's kind of a funny thing where you start off with this huge passion and addiction to this thing without much discipline, but then it helps you go through this huge journey where now you've like, oh boy, I've actually developed a massive amount of discipline and habit building and personal development skills basically because of this huge journey that I'm on, which is
Yeah.
interesting because now I'm at a point, yes, I have so much fire behind me, I have so much passion behind me with dunking, but it's also backed by like now like a huge amount of discipline, right? And that's when you have those two things together, it's game over. It is game over. There's actually a quote I heard recently. What was it? You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the levels of your habits. And I love that because if you have a bad day, you're falling to your habits. And what are your habits, right? If you have amazing habits and discipline, like that's where you're falling towards. If you don't have any of that built up, you're going to miss a day. And that might lead to you missing another day and another one. And all of a sudden, you lost your streak. And it's been like months and you haven't jumped or trained.
One of the best books like I've ever read is Atomic Habits, and I know you've read that as well.
I think
Yeah.
like gold.
Yeah, it actually is. The advice in it's so simple. And if you actually execute on the things the book says, like you would change your life with whatever goal you're like working towards.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You guys ever had smart? Do you guys have Smart Sweets in Australia?
No.
I love Smart Sweets. It's like a healthy alternative, like candy thing, like 3 grams of sugar, whatever. Not
Yeah.
sponsored, but I love these things. And they were like by where all my spices were, right? So every time and every single day I'm cooking like eggs, chicken, meat, whatever, and I'm always going in there like multiple times a day to cook stuff. And then I would just go, oh, Smart Sweet. I'm like, no, don't do it. The next time, open it, whatever, just have one, you know. So just it being like in proximity to you or having it in a different location would be better. So what I did is I took them all, put them under the sink. You know, it's not in another drawer. If I look for something else, I just see it and I'm like, oh, sure. You know, otherwise I would have never thought of it before, you know? So I put it under the sink. So I got to like intentionally go for just that. So that's kind of like the negative thing. But then for the positive way, one of the things that I decided to do was actually get this guy right here. It's a little tattoo that says act. Because my thing I always said to myself in my head, if I'm like being lazy and I'm just on the couch, it's just like act, act. It's basically like Nike's just do it, basically, right? It's the same thing as saying just do it. But to me, it's like take action, basically, right? So act, act, act. So that having that in my head was kind of like always my mantra. And then once I'm doing stuff, sometimes if I really don't want to keep going, I'm just thinking, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's it. So act and keep going. The one thing I end up wasting a lot of time on for me is my phone. So this is in my line of sight if I'm holding like a phone, right? If I'm just holding it like this, it's in my line of sight. And the amount of times that actually having this tattoo, especially when I'm coming back from traveling, where I've just done like, I'm just so jet lagged, I'm so dead, and just so like blah. And now I need to get up and go do a bunch of stuff and be productive. And like, there's been times where I've been laying on this exact couch, like so many times where I'm just like, oh, and I'm just like, dude, you got this freaking tattooed on you. You literally can't just sit here. Like,
Yeah.
you have to. I'm like, oh, okay, time to get out. Let's do it.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
that like starts like a whole day of just being like wildly productive, right? The most important thing to me is to avoid those times where like you just have like a huge down where that could last like a week where you're just like all of a sudden like you're not doing that much, like a huge rut. And who knows how many of those I've prevented by literally just thinking and just having this on me and being like, act, act, because not acting one time, not acting another time, and just like letting myself go all the way down, who knows how much less I would have been able to get done, right? I think it's like a dramatic difference to be able to just kind of keep yourself up. Yeah, to me, this is my trigger that's always in proximity, is just having this.
That's a super smart idea, I'm not gonna lie. I had a similar idea in the past of like on my forearm underneath getting the tattoo relentless. And it's for a similar reason, just a reminder, like just to like motivate
Yeah.
yourself.
Mm.
If you've got a tattoo imprinted that's permanent on you, it's just like you're almost giving yourself something to live up to. If you're not living up to it, you're gonna, it's just
Yeah,
there's so
yeah,
much
especially
psychology.
yeah, I found the one thing was I actually don't tend because you get so used to it. I don't tend to notice the tattoo that much, but I tend to remember that I did get it tattooed. And then that is enough to like fire me up to be like, okay, now you have to get out. You know what I mean? Like I'll just know that I have it and I'm like, oh, like I literally put this on myself forever. Can't be a bitch right now. Get up, you
Mm.
know?
Bro,
So yeah.
I was just gonna say that. Do you reckon if you just got the tattoo, stop being a bitch, that would work the same way?
Probably.
It's like a hack kind of tattoo.
Yeah.
If you want to combine these like last two ideas we've talked about, like if you're a kid listening to this, I'd just get tattooed like just jump or something on you, and then that's how you become a professional dunker.
Yeah. Whether you're 10 years old or 13 years
Yeah,
old
that doesn't
or
matter. Yeah.
5 years old, go get that tattoo, buddy.
Get it done. Do you want to be the goat? I don't,
Yeah.
prove me
Uh,
wrong. Maybe that can
Really?
be
Oh my
the
God.
Jump Master X like slogan. Just jump.
I feel like I've heard
God.
that somewhere
Do you know
before.
what's
I feel
no,
like,
bro? Us, bro, that's what Hack will always say. Like, if anyone's complaining at Dunk Day, by the way, Jordan, Hack's like one of our closest mates, in person in Perth. If you're complaining about anything at Dunk Day, he'll say, "Just jump." Now, we probably can't say the last part in our slogan,
yeah,
but
definitely keep that.
Yeah, but no,
Definitely
100%.
keep.
Like, might have to bleep this part out again. But to me, I always think, not always, but sometimes when I'm mid dunking or mid training or whatever it is, just, yeah, don't be a bitch. I'll always rely on just the negative aspect. I mix it up with all sorts of like ways of going about it. Like, act is more positive. Don't be a bitch is more negative. But, play around with both. I think it's not good to have purely negative talk. A nice mix can be healthy.
Depends on like your personality. Like I've told some athletes just those words only, and then they just start excelling. But like some others would just like crumble under those words. They need more like positive like
Yeah, everybody's
reinforcement.
different. Everybody's different.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it's up to you to try. I think I could be wrong, but I think it's maybe a bit dangerous if like the only thing that ever gets you going is just to tell yourself you're terrible. It's probably not good.
Yeah. No, 100%. Yeah, no, I think we pretty much covered everything in terms of questions. Like I've got here, like what's your training look like right now? But pretty much covered that, to be honest. So without further ado, guys, if you guys are looking for coaching, you guys are looking to sign up, you wanted to jump higher, there'll be a link in the description below of this video. But we'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Jump Master X podcast.
See you later.
Yeah. Joe Master X.